It felt like an adult version of Chicken Run. Like right about when like the demon just like opened the fucking manhole cover and it's like a human. It just like just flip that around where it's just like imagine Chicken Run as they pop the cover off. It's like the fuck are the chickens doing out?
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Welcome! You've been waiting for it, and we are here to deliver to you guys The Promised Neverland. We have not done a review since chapter 83. A lot of shit's come down. The anime started. It's starting to become popular. We can now feel morally superior to everyone else because we were the cool guys who championed this. But, you know, it looks like there is going to be a huge explosion and divide about the current state of the series, because it's funny. Goro Gregoro leans towards the positive direction. He likes what's going on. Zavul is towards the negative. I'm in between. I'm more engaged in the series now than I was, in the past few arcs. But at the same time, there's some stupid shit that I agree is kind of stupid. So since we're not going to do individual chapters, we're going to cover like larger arcs. So Let's start off with the Goldie Pond. What did you guys think of Goldie Pond overall?
Well, I have an important question. Who the fuck is waiting for this?
There's like 2 or 3 people who asked, like one guy in my fucking social thing, Matthew Lucas, I think his name is, and he's like, when are you going to review Promised Neverland?
Okay, well, I guess for that one guy, congratulations, it's fucking Christmas up in here. You even got a shout out if we got your name right. So,
the baited people who watch my low effort content that I drag you guys into. Just watch that one day though. Like, did I tell you about my adventure? One brief aside before we go to Goldie Pond. Did I tell you about my adventure at the YouTube space?
No. What happened?
Oh yeah, you did.
I told you a little bit about it. So I went to the YouTube space finally. I just took an editing day so I could actually like go there and look at shit and find shit out that they wouldn't tell me. And I got questions answered. And it was funny. I walked around and there was this one room and it was like booked like all throughout the month. And there's just this one girl sitting there, this sort of Asian girl. And I look up her channel. It's like Ellie Sparkles. And she's got 1.5 million people subscribers, and she just produces like this weird kid content where she dresses down like a 5-year-old child and pretends to have like adventures with like the Grinch and these toys and like feed them breakfast cereals.
What?
Okay.
Great. Isaac, why aren't we doing that?
There's a part of me that's very much considering that's putting out some actual real thought about coming up with little child skits.
For this.
I've already told you what my ideal YouTube channel would be.
What was it again?
Mr. Murica. I would dress up in one of those ridiculous, like, cheap-ass American flag suits, wear, like, ridiculous, oversized aviators, and then just buy really shitty, cheap taxidermy, stuff it full of explosives, and blow it up in the most grandiose, over-the-top way possible.
Well,
so, like, just imagine that. Just imagine this for a second. Just, like... I don't know. It's Thanksgiving. I have somehow managed to find the ugliest, cheapest, shittiest looking fucking ostrich off of eBay possible, and I've just crammed it full of M80s.
I'm very confused. What the purpose of this would
just
be.
To watch things explode.
The fucking purpose is you get to just blow up shitty taxidermied animals. Just like for the 4th of July, I would have like. I don't fucking know. I feel like a bald eagle would be way too expensive, but I don't know. Maybe I could just get like a taxidermied hawk or maybe a taxidermied like pig or something and just cram it full of as many sparklers as humanly possible and then just light it on fire. I would have fun. I would have fun with my life. It'd be a good time.
If you could just do that. Well, that's more expensive than the little girl who like gets to like have awkward skits and talk with things. But the point is that if you get big enough, you can use those spaces all the time. So hypothetically, we could just sit around all day and just talk about manga and the anime and steal like Google food.
You think they'd let me set off explosives in there, just like squirrels stuffed with like
Oh,
firecrackers?
oh my god.
That might be a little bit difficult.
It sounds like like the ultimate millennial dream. It's just like, oh yes, yes, creating like all this content on the
Yeah,
internet
like
and then
I could
getting
have
free
like
Google food.
I could have like squirrels, and they would have and they'd be like holding up Roman candles, and I could basically create like a fucking Rube Goldberg machine just out of like animals with fireworks. Just badly taxidermied animals with fireworks.
Just
Okay,
like one
so-
explodes.
So all right, so going back on topic to whatchamacallit, what did you guys think of the Goldie Pond? Because we all kind of hated the arc that came before it, and I feel like Goldie Pond on the surface level was kind of an improvement. Yes and no. Everyone's gonna have mixed feelings. Goro, what did you think of the conclusion of Goldie Pond? Then we'll get into Zavel.
We didn't cover the conclusion.
No, we only got through like the start of it, chapter 83. It was like the very beginning.
Oh, I didn't like it that much. At the end, none of the children really died. I mean, they came close to dying, but it didn't feel like the stakes were that high until I guess like the twins started like messing up the kids, like injuring them. They almost looked like they died, but they didn't die at that point. But
yeah, there was a lot of bullshit where like the girl with the scarf over her head like gets like a spear shucked through her, but then she somehow manages to survive through that with enough bandages.
right,
That was some fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
there was also Lewis, right? That was his name.
Yeah, Lewis.
Lewis did not feel nearly as threatening as he should be. He was just kind of like led around like some kind of like Home Alone prank, like series of fucking pranks where he gets electrocuted one time and it's like,
And he's just excited about it the entire time. That's the other part. He was never like upset or angry about being foiled. It's just like, they're shooting me? This is fucking amazing.
it was just
The best day of my life. I can't feel pain or anger.
I just imagine like he's just like Joe Pesci or something from Home Alone, where he's just getting shot by a bunch of bullets, catching him like, ha ha ha, got you, kid, kind of moment.
Yeah, that was a big issue with Lewis, is that he's hyped as like, oh, he's the tactical genius. Oh, he sees through all of our plans. Oh, Lewis is gonna fuck your shit. Oh, we got the one guy who's like basically Donald Trump Jr. My dad owns a dealership. He's gonna get you.
Right.
Oh yeah, that.
Then we had like the twins who were like, they were okay but not great. And then you had Lord Bayon, who was stupid enough to like, I think this is obviously a trap in their lair. I'm gonna go follow them in their fucking trap.
Jesus Christ, you're right. It is fucking Home Alone. Just kind of imagine that in Marv's voice. Also,
Yeah.
I had a couple problems. But first and foremost, so way back in the beginning of the series, and this becomes more and more evident later, do you remember how the demons used to talk in that like weird fucking unspeakable scratched out language? And now they just don't anymore. Do you find that weird?
Well, I thought.
I mean, when they talk to kids, yeah, you kind of expect that, but when they're just sitting around the dining room, just like speaking English, Japanese, I mean, whatever language they speak in this universe that humans also speak. I'm going to assume English because a lot of the, a lot of the stuff that we see is in English, and they kind of make a big deal about like referencing certain English stuff, I think. But but still, all of their names are mostly English language names.
Well, would you accept the idea that maybe they learn the language from what they eat, kind of like similar to the theory of like Norman, how they absorb the genetic material?
I would, but we've already seen all of the demons speaking a different language entirely. and they already seem to be like the higher up intelligent kind of boss tier demons, and we just kind of lost that, and I feel like it's just because the author wanted us to know what's going on but never really specified, and so we keep losing levels of how creepy and other these demons are. Like they also become less and less threatening. Like at the beginning of the series, they are these just monstrous presence. We don't know what the fuck is happening, why they're doing this, what is going on, and they are just these things that we just feed children into, and it's horrible. And then we get to kind of like Goldie Pond, and it's like, oh, it's a fucking game reservation. Well, this is kind of scary, but then comes the end where a bunch of 11-year-olds just fucking pump Lewis full of lead. It's not even a shonen fight. It's literally just they're all just standing in a circle shooting this guy until he stops moving.
That was like
it is just the most disappointing thing. It's like there's nothing eldritch or terrible about this. They're just like, okay, just start shooting him. When do we stop? When does he stop moving?
Yeah.
Do you have any problems about running out of ammo? Nah, fuck it. We just have all the guns. We have guns for days. It's fine. Fuck it.
You know, if I were to get some positives...
Does anyone ever wonder if we're going to get tinnitus when we're older? Shut the fuck up.
Tinnitus?
That was like one of the big problems of the...
Tinnitus is when your ears start ringing and it doesn't stop damage. Yeah, that.
Some people
it's fucking referenced in Archer a lot.
The big issue is that like Goldie Pond firmly established the demons aren't a fucking threat. When like a bunch of 11-year-olds can largely murder them without much effort. and the supreme evil bad guy, like his crowning achievement is like, stabbing an 11-year-old girl, which, good on you, Emma, for like getting your great, shonen moment. But like, that is all that Lewis did. His crowning achievement of evil villaindom was stabbing an 11-year-old girl. He didn't even fight the super muscle guy. I'm like thinking, oh right, we got this mutant man, Mr. Meat Man. They're gonna have like a big brawl, and Lewis is gonna do something fucking smart to the meat kid, and then we're gonna be like, oh fuck, but no.
He just throws buildings around because fuck it. I cannot see him as scary. It's like you're supposed to be the big game hunter, the big terrifying motherfucker that just like, I don't know, has like human heads on his walls like people have deer, and instead it's just like, okay, so you went hunting like little baby fawns and they fucked you up. They just fucked your shit up.
See,
like that is just embarrassing.
I 100% agree, but if we were to take some positives out of Goldie Pond, like I think the inclusions of a little bit more interesting kids is definitely a positive, right?
Well,
some more interesting kid characters.
I will say I like the Goldie Pond kids much better than the Grace Field kids.
Yes.
But it also reveals like probably Pusku or whatever the writer's guy's name of this is, and I think Super Eye Patch Wolf pointed out in one of his videos that like he's kind of not great at character writing, in that like.
I mean, you're kind of right.
Aside
from,
I didn't know Super Eye Patch Wolf guy.
He didn't do an in-depth video on Promised Neverland. He just talked about the state of Shonen Jump. You probably appreciate that video because he talks about how Promised Neverland starts out great, but how he likes Dr. Stone better now, just like us.
Yeah, aside from Emma, Ray, and Norman, they all just kind of blend together in this background hum of "I want to slap that kid."
Yeah.
Like, the Goldie Pond kids, I like them better because they're not as, like, little cloying little 7-year-olds, but, like, I couldn't tell them apart. I can't name them in any of them. I can't tell you what the personality is of the girl with the scarf on her head versus the kid with the alfalfa eye thing,
or what about Big muscle bound like meat truck.
His personality is he's literally a sack of meat. He's the equivalent. He's the walking equivalent of going to a grocery store and finding a roast.
Yeah, but
which I guess was the point, but still.
There was like a big mystery around his character. The fact that he was like repeating Norman's number over and over again. That adds some interest a little bit. And the fact that he was able to overpower Lewis in some points.
Look, if you want to write like a good character that has like a one-word dialogue stream, go look at Hodor. It's not this thing.
Fair. All right. Fair.
I think the biggest issue I have with Goldie Pond is like I love the setup. I was like super game for it, but like most of the action beats were like, oh, ha ha ha, I'm a demon, I'm arrogant. Oh, I've got 2 machine guns. I'm going to shoot you until the point I eventually kill you.
Yeah, but we all agree that was like definitely one of the worst aspects of this arc. But I'm just saying, like, what else, is there anything that was positive? What about the kids?
I liked the older kids. I liked the introduction of Lucas and Hugo. I think they could have done more about their meeting. And I guess another thing that sort of bugs me is I never really quite understood like who the poachers are. Assumingly the poachers are the rich demons, but they're not the ones who are actually like going to get the kids. And like there are a lot, like this is something that's happened again and again. I hope the anime can do a better job of it. That we'll get like really lazy flashback montages where it's like we don't really get any concrete details. We just get these montages of images. So like for an example, we get these montages from Hugo since the man with no name. That's his name, right? Was it Hugo? Am I?
Yeah, it's Hugo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Hugo gets these montages where we learn that, oh my God, he's so traumatized because all of his buddies who escaped got killed off. But how did they get killed off? Did the poachers, you pull them out of the shelter where they found, when they were going to hunt in the shelter? Like it's just not like there's lots of interesting, fun, meaty details. And if your ultimate game in making a Shonen Jump thing is to have something run as long as fucking possible, I think you could have made a little mini arc or like a 2 or 3 chapter story about like how what happened to these kids. How were they?
Emma encountered the poachers, and that's how she got to the Goldie Pond.
Assumingly, but like, was that Lord Bayon, or was it like someone working for Lord Bayon? It's not an important detail, and it doesn't matter in the scheme of things, but it's like an interesting story detail that I would have liked some clarification. You had some plenty of opportunity. It's in your best interests to, do a clarification and not give us a fucking lazy montage of just like kids being like, oh, I'm so sad, go on without me, without any fucking details.
Yeah.
And, like, I guess, I wanted, like, clever, fun shit. I wanted, like, escape arc shit where it was like, oh, he led a track here. Oh, I see that there's a spike pit. Well, I avoided it. Whoa, but that wasn't because there's a fucking Ewok device that's going to smash you together. Like, I wanted some mind games. I wanted some feints and other clever shit.
Yeah, I guess that was my other problem is it's always supposed to have been you don't fix things with brute force. You basically think your way out of them. I would have been fine if they didn't kill the poachers at Goldie Pond, or they didn't kill the hunters or anything at Goldie Pond, but basically they had to think their way out while they were being hunted. Like it'd be the situation kind of like in Alien Isolation.
Oh, where they escape instead.
It's like Alien Isolation. You can't kill these things. You can maybe slow them down or piss them off a little bit, but you're not gonna kill them. So you have to figure out how to leave with your skin intact.
Oh, it might make them a little bit more threatening,
as opposed to a 5-minute long montage of just
kids going Rambo. But, to the series' credit, and, there is some credit due, they didn't give Emma super power up. She was still just mostly a witty kid shooting shit. So, I'll give some, if there was a point to introduce superpowers, this would have been it. And, it didn't quite achieve of what it needed to be. But at least they didn't
Yeah.
have Emma have a super power up.
I mean, we'll get to that later.
Oh God, yes.
Maybe like
Okay, so
Demon
I
Blood or
guess the
something.
next set we need to talk
Well,
about.
all right, wait. First, let's give some scores. What do you think of Goldie Pond?
5.
I'm a little more
Yeah.
generous. I'd give it a 7.
5 sounds just about fine.
I thought it was adequate,
I-
but need I remind you of Goblin Slayer of what the true Drex of anime look like?
Yeah, but that was like 2 or 1. This is like, definitely better, but it was poorly thought out. Poorly
Well,
executed.
yeah. Well, I have a grand thesis of why I think The Promised Neverland went downhill. But I'm going to save that towards the end. All right, so let's move on. Let's go talk about the most, as I like to call it, the most limp dick time jump of all time.
Oh God, yeah.
Wait, they get to the 7 walls first, though, right?
Well,
Before they're
that's
done.
like part of it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I barely noticed.
I hated that time jump with such a fucking passion. If you're doing
I
a
didn't
time
really
jump,
care.
there should be a big story point. It shouldn't be hey, we trekked to this place where we thought there were answers. We didn't get any fucking answers. Time jump, woo! And the worst part is let's reintroduce the characters. Oh, it's only like a year and a half, a few months. They don't look that fucking different.
No, they really don't. It's shrug. I don't care.
That wasn't
I,
to me. That was kind of a half-ass attempt of a time jump.
But that's
didn't
why I
really-
call it limp dick.
yeah.
But it didn't really bother me because they were just kind of I don't know. It sounded like they were just trying to fill in, just trying to fast forward a little bit for what happened. It wasn't exactly a time jump because a time jump implies that
No, it's a time jump. A
back.
time jump is a significant amount of time passes that you redesign the characters and show them as slightly older.
Look, it is the standard shonen time jump. It is 2 years later.
Yeah, it has to be 2 years later.
It was 2 years, Greg. That's my entire point. It
was
is a
2
standard shonen. That is a standard shonen.
It wasn't
time.
quite 2 years. It was a year and a half. It was
Fucking
9
years.
It wasn't quite. It was enough though.
But here's what I mean by a standard shonen time jump. Basically, the character has to visually change, given little to no context about how they came about this change recently. So you'll have to learn gradually over the course of watching how they progressed over these years. That to me feels like a more traditional time jump than what Promised Neverland did.
It's still a time jump.
It's still a time jump. It's still just a very disappointing one. The fact that we're arguing over the time jump is...
It feels like a waste of time.
It was, and it's if your ultimate goal is to get, ultimately, if I'm a manga author, my goal is to tell my story, but it's also to make tell it as long as I fucking can without burning out the audience. And if your goal is to have this run for 200 and 250 chapters or whatever, then there's a lot of interesting story I would like to hear.
if you want to do a time jump, a time jump for Promised Neverland,
Well,
you have
Greg,
to have significant visual character change, right?
yeah. And you know what? I would have liked to have seen them go to those fucking demon villages and learn more about the fucking demon society. I wouldn't have minded that.
Maybe some of them lose appendages or eyes or something like that. Ray gets an eye patch instead of having the emo hair thing going on over his face all the time. So and then Emma loses her other ear or something like that. So the artist doesn't have to remember which ear he has to draw, which one he does.
Yeah, but did any of you like the mystical eldritch dragon thing?
No, don't care.
I thought you would have liked it. I thought it was a decent design.
No, don't care.
Not really. I didn't really care for it.
I liked the dragon. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, but with the
Fuck
context of Goldie Pond still behind us, it was just like I don't really care about like all this, mystical subplot. I just want to get some nice nice sense of like urgency and consequences for these kids, for the kids that are trying to run from demons.
Well, okay, so that sounds like as good of a segue as I could ask for, and about what I think is the arc you'll probably like the best. What did you think of the Hideout Invasion arc?
Oh boy.
Oh, I really like that. That was one of the turning points for me.
That was a good arc, but I will say it's really sad that the most threatening thing we've seen in this entire fucking series are humans.
Yeah, but there was child death. There was actually
I'm really happy about that. There were stakes. People died. People actually died. But it wasn't the monsters that did it.
Saw that before, yeah.
Yeah, I know, and it's really fucking disappointing that it's people with guns. We basically got a school shooting instead of Alien, okay?
Yeah, but it was terrifying, and it did the job that it needed to for it put lives on the line. Like,
yeah, except I'm even less afraid of the demons now, because as far as I've been able to tell, the humans are in fucking charge here. It's like, oh yeah, we gave them toys, the toy guns. we basically gave them shit.
Yeah.
Like, who do you call when all of the demons?
Clan is terrifying.
Like, who do we call when all the demons have fucked up and you can't do anything? Guys in tactical SWAT gear.
Well,
who is actually going to kill children in this series? Guys in tactical SWAT gear. Who's going to stop the two grown-ups that have like shown themselves to be the most capable people in this series? Guys in tactical SWAT gear.
But guys in tactical SWAT gear should be
SWAT,
scary.
sorry. Yeah, but they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be scarier than
compared
the demons.
To an eldritch horror.
Yeah, but it's not exactly eldritch horror. It's different than eldritch.
I mean, not
horror.
anymore.
It was for a little while.
I mean, it was for a little while. There was always that question of like, oh no, you can't break down the barrier. What if they get through? And now I'm just like, well, obviously you can't break down the barrier because it might fuck with somebody's business plan. Like, that is clearly what is going on here. That's my only guess at this point is whoever is sponsoring the guys with the bulletproof vests and the fucking gas masks and everything is clearly making some kind of money off of this. Well, that is the only thing I can think of. And and having seen the fucking demon village and everything, it's just like, wow, they're even less threatening than before.
Yeah,
that's kind of the point, though. If you think about it like this, when they first introduced Musica and Songju, is that his name?
Yes, yeah, you got it.
Like they were showing that there's a different side to demons than what you initially thought.
Yeah, but they still want to eat you.
Even Songju's like, I still want to eat humans.
Yeah. Towards the end, they were like, yes.
I mean, the more we see,
they became definitely less threatening because of that. I think they want us to make them feel a little bit more relatable.
Yeah, but that's my problem. Is this was supposed to be a horror manga, and then it just became an action manga when they just shot Lewis to death in just like as a barrage of bullets, and now we get like this Final Fantasy Starter Town-esque demon village, and I guess like and then like just like basically the SWAT team shows up and they're actually the most scary thing in the entire fucking manga, and now and I mean, but I guess
I am happy there is actually something scary in this universe, right?
Here's the problem.
It shouldn't be that hard to make these things scary. They look terrifying.
Here's the problem, Greg, and I'm generally with you. I like that arc because I feel like that had like the mix of tragedy that like The Promised Neverland needed. But the big issue is that, as Scott has been saying, as Zevel has been saying, the demons, are supposed to be the big threat. And now, originally when this started, we thought it was like this post-apocalyptic world. Oh my god, there are these demon alien monsters. We don't know. They're harvesting humans. There's nothing we can do. Holy shit, this is so scary and oppressive. And now, then it made the poor decision of saying, oh no, there's a whole human world over there where all the humans are just fine. And now we know the humans over on the other world have tactical SWAT teams. And since we know 11-year-olds can murder demons, what is the tension here? What is stopping the humans from just killing everything?
Like, as far as I'm concerned, the demons should just be like, gung-ho, we will never ever allow that barrier to come down. Sure, we like eating humans, but as soon as that barrier comes down and we take the first bite out of a human, we are just so fucked.
Yeah,
just so fucked.
The more I think about it, I think you're right, Scott. Like, they have that whole big thing like, oh, Peter Rarity is the big human villain. He's the one who's keeping the promise. He's a part of this evil clan that's, like, keeping the cattle children. But maybe Peter Rarity's just, like, getting paid in gold, and that's the reason he keeps on doing it. Maybe he's basically, like, the equivalent of, like, Donald Trump's children, who's just, like, getting this blood money, and he's really rich because, like, why does anyone listen to the demons?
Yeah, like all of the
that's what I was
technology.
thinking.
Look, all the human technology we see, everything is only in like the factory farms, or like sometimes in like the rich demons' houses and stuff. If you look around, it's like most of the actual like the demon village and everything it's like we haven't seen trucks except when they're used to transport humans. We haven't seen like TVs or like electrical lighting, except in places where they're like mass manufacturing human meat. Like these things aren't scary at all. Like I was expecting some kind of like Geiger, whatever. Like so basically some sort of like horrible like forerunner monstrosity, like disturbing biotech shit. And instead we basically got like a couple of schlubs watching a closed circuit TV monitor.
It's like a joint effort between humans and demons to facilitate.
But what did the
process.
humans get? It's like, did the demons like spit out gold?
Yeah, that's my main question. Is just like at this point, when it is just incredibly clear that probably anyone armed with, say, 1940s technology could just steamroll these fuckers. What exactly are we getting out of it for keeping the barrier up and allowing them to keep humans? Are they in like some sort of like, is this going to turn out to be like the village? Are they in like a preserve where they're like the last of their kind?
Do you remember?
They don't want to kill them all.
Do you remember what Andrew said about Emma's idea to make a new promise at the Seven Walls or whatever?
I remember it was very nondescript, but what remind us?
He was saying stuff like, "You're making a new promise. You're even more of a threat to the Ratiri clan and their way of doing things. That makes you even more
with his money."
Now it feels. Now I'm like even more like the Ratiri clan. Basically, cattle children is like the equivalent of fucking oil. I don't know what the demons would have to offer, but I'm going to assume that they're like sitting on gold or microchips or some bullshit.
Maybe it's like the gold water, or
maybe drugs,
like that.
maybe drugs or something. I don't fucking know.
Maybe there's a demon mine. Maybe the demons poop diamonds after eating humans,
or I don't know. Maybe it's like Dune or something, where it's like the spice must flow. And maybe they're like maybe. I don't fucking know what the hell they produce, but clearly it's important enough that we allow them to eat children, which is the saddest thing I think I've ever said, is humans allow this to happen when they could clearly just stomp it out.
Yeah, because like it doesn't feel like there's like, oh fuck, the demons are gonna come at us from their Final Fantasy village.
Well,
they're shitty masks that don't defend their eyes.
Remember when we felt bad for like Mama or Sister Crone? It's like, oh man, that's so fucked up. I feel so bad about that. There's nothing else they can do. It's like this is it. This is all they're gonna get in their life, and then you kind of like pull it back a little bit, and you're like, wow. I mean, I guess they have to report to the demons, and that's sad, but I mean, mostly this is a human problem.
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense. Andrew, what are you? Did they pay? Is the benefit package for like really that good for exterminating the cattle children? Why aren't you just like fuck the demons?
It's like so messed up that his mentality is just like, these are cattle children, these are cattle children, these are cattle children. Like he doesn't make that connection between these children and like whatever he considers regular children, or he's like that psychologically like damaged or impaired to even make that kind of like human connection.
I guess he
I don't
must
think it's psychologically damaged or impaired so much as how like billionaires don't give a flying fuck if somebody starves like 5 miles away as long as they get to roll around in their Scrooge McDuck pile of money.
Yeah, but you'd think like if they were faced with a starving child in person, they would have a little bit more empathy, right?
I don't know.
I feel like he must be getting paid a very nice benefits package or something, because
Yeah,
like
I assume he provides his own benefit package, or at least the clan does.
yeah.
Yeah, but even benefits doesn't mean you're completely like without empathy, you know?
I don't know, man. Just doing a job.
Yeah.
Or like I really want to know why. Like the more evidence that we see, the more it feels like the humans could steamroll the demons. So all right. So one thing I'm gonna say though, I really did love the half burned face where he's like just clubbing seals at that last moment before he gets eaten.
Oh, God, yeah. The way he was like, "You can't kill me. It's murder." You know, every time one of those kids tried to pull the trigger, they hesitated, and that's how they died. That's how I killed the other.
I was like, yeah, this is what the Promised Neverland is supposed to be.
so
Horrible,
excited.
harsh truths.
Also, I'm
Were
just
you not
confused
excited?
about the consistent like, oh, but it's murder. It's like, I mean, you were fine with killing demons because they're gonna eat you. How is killing a person who is just clubbing a child to death any fucking different?
You know, you can
Look,
sometimes
this is
look at a
I know
demon
this
and
is
think
crossing
monster.
series and blah blah blah, but look, if Katniss can like find it in her heart to shoot someone with a fucking arrow when she's gonna fucking die, I'm sure the children can figure out that it's probably okay to kill someone who's clubbing your friend to death with an assault rifle.
It was nice to see Emma like suffer, because I was definitely getting sick of like Emma always being on the right side. I wanted to see her make some hard choices.
Yeah.
But one last thing before we move on and give our final grades for this arc. What did you guys think of Hugo and Lucas's final last stand? Do you think they went down like bosses? I thought Lucas was the fucking MVP, strangling people with his one arm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they went down great. Like that was a really good sequence. But again, it is kind of disappointing that this has gone from like top tier horror to just it basically feels like Dead Space 3 at this point. I'm really sad about it.
Did you ever play Dead Space 3?
Yeah, I stopped about halfway through because I got angry and never finished it. Like, not even like I got this is challenging angry. I'm just like, this is the stupidest fucking bullshit. I'm not finished.
But you never got to the Brother Moon. The Brother Moon was good, but I'm not going to deny it. Like I love the first two Dead Space games, but the third one is definitely.
I think I got to the part where they were talking about it, but I just didn't bother fighting it. It's just like I don't fuck this, fuck you, fuck everyone. I'm not finishing this. I'm glad I only paid $5 for this.
Yeah.
I would have been angry otherwise.
Yeah. Did you like the microtransactions where they tried to encourage you to buy additional bits for like the stupid weapon crafting system?
Yeah, right about the point where they introduced the fucking scavenge bot, I stopped feeling like this was a fucking horror series. Which, again, I guess kind of plays back to Promised Neverland, because if this is supposed to be like this big, terrifying, I guess not adventure, but like journey for survival where it's like everything is against you, everything is terrible, you're gonna see some of your friends die because you're in this hostile landscape, and then there's just this montage like, oh no, we don't have enough food, But what if we got everyone to look for food? Oh wait, we have enough food. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, come on.
Yeah.
I guess again with like the infiltrating the factory farm thing, where it's like, oh no, this child is sick. We fixed it.
Yeah, they get through those a little too easily. All right, so let's give a final grade to the hideout invasion. What would you give it, Goro?
That was surprisingly one of my most favorite arcs, Promised Neverland so far. That was a 9 for me.
I give it an 8. I like it really well. I liked it a lot more than a lot of the stuff we've seen previously, but my biggest issue is that, like, I feel like that eliminated any sort of threat I feel from the demons entirely.
How so?
I just explained. Like you know, if if humans have tactical SWAT gear, then why do they listen to the demons?
Yeah.
So Zavil, what was your grade for that arc?
7.
That sounds about right. All right, so now let's get into the fucking William Minerva anime squad / the factory. So
this really killed it for me. I'll be honest here. It did. Like they're constantly going through. It's like this should all be about brains and thinking your way through problems that otherwise would kill you. There are no powers here. Like even killing Lewis was just a matter of having enough ammunition. And then we have like a group of people that just murders somebody with a bat. It's like these demons like drop another step where it's like, okay, now we're right about the point where these demon monsters are like hollows from Bleach. It's like they aren't scary anymore. They just slaughter them left and right. It's like clearly Norman's boot squad has no real concern about just trashing their way through a mass produced meat farm. Like there's no challenge, and so obviously this isn't going to be as much of a challenge for the kids either. So why do I fucking care anymore?
So Goro, what did you think of Norman's anime squad?
Oh, when they tore up through all those different facilities and burned some of the facilities down. I thought it was interesting because Emma's idea is probably, we gotta save all the children, even the ones stuck in those farms that can't even move. We probably have to rescue them all.
They're brain dead. They're not even like real people. I wouldn't be surprised if they lobotomize them before dumping them in the fucking chair.
Yeah,
fuck.
I thought it was interesting that now we know that's Norman. Just turned off the switch and was like, all right, let's just kill everything in this facilities.
Well, I mean, it's probably a mercy at this point. It's like I feel like it could have been handled.
I did like that scene though, where it's like, oh, we can't do anything, just burn them all.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was cool, but like it could have handled it better. Where like instead of just like walking in and trashing everything in their way, there could have been like weird, terrifying machinery. Just like think of like, I hate to say this, but like think of like wandering through the ship in Prometheus, where it's like everything is wrong and creepy, and it's like you have all of these like benches with like weird biotechnology and children sort of like slotted in and drooling, and rather than just like murder their way through it, just be like, okay, we're in, we've lost like 3 people. What do? We can't get them out. Fuck it, just burn it down. We're not going to be able to get out of here alive with all of these children. Honestly, we'll be surprised if I get out of here whole. So fuck it, just light it on fire and run.
Yeah, I can understand. I can understand that. You'd want it to be more like a little bit more desperate, like versus like, oh, we've got these fucking anime fighting characters who just slaughter the demons with little effort.
Yeah. Just like think of like, I don't know, God, scene I've always wanted, but we never fucking got. Like, think of like the Resistance trying to like infiltrate a Skynet Terminator factory, and just like how absolutely pants shitting terrified you would be. But you finally managed to get in. It's like, okay, we're probably all gonna die doing this, but burn it to the ground.
You know, Scott, you want me to tell you a really depressing revelation about that in that regards? You know, they did kind of like a poor man's version of that scene in like the Terminator sequel that took place in the future, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm sure. And I'm sure it was terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty mediocre. They just kind of got in there and were like, oh, they're making Terminators just like John Connor said they would.
Let's destroy it.
Pretty much. What was it called? Terminator Salvation.
God, I forget what I was going to say. But, all right. I feel like this whole series, like, Scott, I feel like, or Savile, I feel like, of course, this series didn't turn out to be Eldritch Harder. You do seem a little bit bitter that it didn't.
I really am.
Well, the big problem is that it tries to have its...
Now it's not Eldritch Harder.
Well, here's, I think, the issue with Scott is that, like, it tries to have its cake and eat it, too. Where it's like, oh my god, there are these eldritch monstrosities, and like, oh, they're talking in weird parcel tongues, but oh, it's also high concept sci-fi.
Which is doable. Again, remember Dead Space, Alien, all that good shit. I guess to a lesser extent, Event Horizon. So it's doable. It's very doable. But I think my problem is we want this high concept horror. We want this like creepy sci-fi rigmarole bullshit. But also we want the demons to be totally relatable and just everyday schlubs watching a fucking security monitor and bitching about overtime. You cannot be afraid of something when you watch it sitting at a security monitor, whining about overtime and the boss man.
Well,
you can't be afraid of it anymore. It's just like, oh, Jesus Christ. I bet you go home and pick up some like human rind fucking potato, or like I just like fried Krispies and a 6-pack of beer and sit down. And I guess you don't have TV, which is really fucking depressing when you think about it. But like you go home and you flip on the radio and you listen to the big game and you just get a little bit drunk because you don't want to go to work tomorrow. And it's just like, great, I'm not afraid of you anymore. I'm not afraid of anything. And because I just watched a team of like 4 people just steamroll an entire fucking factory, I don't think this is going to be a problem either.
Well, I don't think the purpose of the demons now is to make them like super threatening anymore. Obviously, it's definitely to make them more relatable, especially with those scenes where the security guards are just staring at the monitors. They're like, I'm bored as fuck, and I'm just I'm a incompetent security guard at a low level like human factory. At this point, it's not really so much as to make the demons threatening. It's more just to there's a bigger picture involved with this manga, I feel, where it's not just the demons that are the central focus. It's the whole system. It's the whole child producing system that they have to overcome. It's kind of like a commentary on farming practices today of like chickens and cows.
I was gonna say, I'll be honest here, the entire like infiltrate the factory farm, just it felt like an adult version of Chicken Run. Like right about when like the demon just like opened the fucking manhole cover and it's like, a human? It just like flip that around where it's just like, imagine Chicken Run as they pop the cover off. It's like, the fuck are the chickens doing out? And also like they kill 2 of them and then like the demons are running. It's like, oh my god, the humans are invading. That is never ever something you want your fucking terrifying antagonist to say, where it's just like, all right, we're factory farming people, all this crazy shit's happening, everything is terrifying, we should be afraid of them, or at the very least like worried about what's going to happen, and we have like a bunch of 15-foot tall monstrosities running from fucking 11-year-olds.
It would be like the xenomorph. Oh shit, humans are in the hive.
Yeah, and they just run from like a high schooler. Which, I mean, I guess is traditional anime practice, but again, not in this genre.
Well, it's interesting because, like, I hate well, all right, let me just get this side off, and then we'll go into the final arc, that is currently running right now. The big thing that I was having a big discussion about Scott with this last night. The thing that annoys me about the William Minerva Anime Squad is that they remind me of something that happened in Shogeki no Soma recently, the food anime.
Jesus, you showed me that. Yeah.
We're okay. like Shogeki no Soma is like this heightened reality, like, oh my god, everyone's like cooking, it's great, but it's a heightened reality, but it's still basically our world. But then, because the author clearly ran out of ideas, but the series is still successful, so he doesn't want to fucking end it, he introduced this concept of evil, dark, noir chefs, who are chefs who cook for the underworld, for mob bosses. So now, Soma, representing the world of light chefs who cook non-illegally, must battle against the evil, dark underworld chefs. And all the underworld chefs look like they came out of, like, the design of evil anime villains. There's, like, a guy with a trench coat. There's an evil fucking clown. There's an evil fucking clown. And the worst part is that the big super bad guy basically has, like, a Hunter x Hunter Nen ability for his cooking. Where he like, once he acquires a tool of a skilled chef, he acquires another tool, he combines them, that activates the ability, and he uses the two cooking methods to make a super cooking method. And at that point I was like, fuck you. What happened to the point where it was just like, oh my god, I learned French cuisine. This is so fucking amazing. Oh my god, I learned this thing about Brazilian cuisine. No, you activate your fucking Nen ability. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck this arc. Jesus fucking
what
Christ.
What if it's based on real life?
No, it's not.
Greg, fuck off.
Real life doesn't
pick on a teddy bear.
Real
jackass.
Real life doesn't have clowns who cook by juggling meat in fucking saucer bowls. Just like
Although
the promise.
If they did, I would go to the restaurant.
But
anyone out there that owns a restaurant, if you can figure out how to actually fucking do that and prove this manga right, I don't care if it's like $100 a plate. I will save up and I will go and I will spend money at your restaurant.
Your fucking evil clown meat. So basically you have like this fucking William Minerva squad who feels like just that out of place and that like unbelievable and that like great, we know 11-year-olds with guns can kill the fucking demons, and now we have superhumans. Okay, I can just understand how you have superhumans because we have the demon experimental facility, because the demons
I don't completely agree with that, because you're basically like, imagine like just taking even that just kind of makes me feel disappointed with the demons. Imagine a second that you're raising Colby beef. Okay, this is great, fantastic. You just have the best beef in the world, and so you take your like prime cow, the one that you would probably want for like breeding, or a prime steer, the one you probably want for breeding, so you can make more steer and cows with those genetics, and instead you just kind of drag them off as like. And they specifically said it's like they'll try anything. So I'm mostly at this point, I'm just imagining the fucking stupid aliens from Invaders Zim, like it's bonding, and then just like duct taping shit together and just yelling about it. Like I'm just like, what if we inject them with bleach? I honestly am surprised they actually managed to achieve any kind of noticeable results. I wonder how many. Like, maybe this is the source of your meat problems, is you keep taking the best food and just fucking with it until it's dead, until you get results.
Actually, in a way, this is like kind of adding superpowers to the series. If you
Yeah,
think about
yeah,
it.
it kind of is.
That is what we're pissed about.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
At least Emma doesn't have him, but like you know, what was not threatening before has become super unthreatening. I don't know. The only way I could see it redeemed is that like maybe there's like a super demon that we should actually be afraid of, and then that just eats William Minerva's super squad of like Bagman, sexy skater girl, and Butler Man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, again, that design is fucking terrible. I'm serious.
Paper
It's
bag
a dude with a
head.
bag over his head. At least in One Piece, it was played for laughs. Mr. Store was fucking played for laugh. We all knew it was Jesus Burgess. It's fine. It was fucking hysterical. Everybody loved it. In this case, it's just like, where did you even get the paper bag? Or is that a sack?
This
But
feels
whatever,
like a
I just, like,
reference
this
to Silent Hill game.
No. Honestly, there's a Guilty Gear character from like a fighting game who has a bag on his head.
Oh, okay.
That feels more like it.
But yeah, it's real fucking disappointing, and I'm pretty pissed about it.
So now let's move in to
But
the
the Ratiri clan is still threatening to you guys, right? I feel like the Ratiri clan is still threatening.
Yeah,
But I don't understand why they're doing what they're doing unless they're
I
getting
don't
paid.
either. It's just kind of
Well,
dumb.
you know, eventually, hopefully, they come with a good explanation. You
So,
know?
Oh,
It
that
seems like
reminds me. So
they're behind.
Oh
it
no,
all.
hold on. That reminds me. Okay, so demons have to eat people in order to maintain their form, but Musica doesn't eat factory. Like she doesn't eat people. So the fuck? Explain.
Yeah.
Well, that's the big mystery. We need to find out. Oh my god, what makes her different?
I'll be honest, I don't think it's a mystery. I think it's a plot hole, and the eventual plug that this guy comes up with is going to be just about as fucking stupid as the fucking anime boot squad.
I like to think that it's
would-
hopefully something planned out because they did, like in the most recent chapter, they did say, you know, oh, what about Musica? There's some exception. Anyway, what were you going to say, Goro, before I cut you off?
I was gonna say exactly that. It's like to me. It seemed like a major plot hole when they first revealed that, and they were like, "Wait a minute, that's not fucking true." Like Musica and Songju, they don't eat human meat, and they haven't degenerated. So what the fuck is Norman talking about? And you know, unless the author completely forgot that, So now that they actually mention it, it gives me a little bit more hope to say, okay, maybe he had something more thought out about this, why Norman thinks this way.
And so what do we think about the reintroduction of Norman? Are we happy to see him back in his super smart form? Are we pissed that, like, now we're getting that, oh, it's like Neverland, the real Neverland, because, look, John, Smee, maybe the final demon's going to be Captain Hook.
Wait a minute, what?
God, I hope so. I hope there's a fucking alligator with a clock in it.
Well, good. Didn't you guys notice that, like, the names that they're making them Neverland, like the Peter Pan Neverland, like basically?
I heard Smee, but who else was this?
Whatchamacallit? Peter Rarity. You know, like Peter Pan.
Oh my god.
Like the Smee's pretty explicit, and
Oh,
Norman
my
is basically
God.
living in a giant tree hut like the Lost Boys.
Oh my god.
So does that
Okay.
mean I'm going to get my alligator with a clock in it?
Hopefully.
I think
I swear to God, I fucking better.
Maybe that's what the humans are afraid of. That there's a giant alligator with a clock, and that, you know, they don't want to fuck with that.
okay.
So
Well-
we'll have to wait and see if this actually pays off in anything meaningful. But I was kind of pissed that we didn't. Like, I would have liked an arc of, like, you know, Norman in the fucked up research facility trying to figure out a way out and learning shit.
I like how they introduced Norman at this point in the series because you know, he had a significant growth spurt. Like sometimes he appears tall, sometimes he appears about the same height.
Art is a little
whatever.
inconsistent, but go on.
But yeah, the fact that he's pretending to be William Minerva to rally up this huge group of people, it makes it a little bit unsettling, like how Norman came to be about in this position of power, and like how, you know, he rallied so many people under this fake name, this fake identity. So To me, it feels a little bit like maybe Norman could be a threat in the future.
Look, as long as he, I mean, they're building up to like a some sort of ethical standoff between Emma, which at this point I feel like she has one of the. I know they're gonna try and make it like she has a point, but I really don't think she does. And Norman, they're gonna have some kind of ethical standoff, and of course Emma's gonna win because she's the main character. But I just.
But you could consider Songju and Musica technically good demons, right?
Well,
No, they still want to eat people. They're just a quieter threat.
well,
They just didn't. It's basically like imagine just walking by a couple of burgers and going, fast food. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I'll just go to the grocery store and get a real steak, or just like
They
basically
prefer
imagine
grass.
a prepper just going fucking McDonald's, man. I go out and I shoot my deer.
they prefer grass-fed chicken to
well, they're like those people in Portland who like
but
to
from
slaughter
the
their
fucking-
meat.
Yeah, but from the cow's perspective, that doesn't make you a better person. It just makes you picky.
All right. But in their minds, they think they're good demons, right? Because they helped them, they gave them medicine, they taught them how to hunt. And all
Well,
that stuff.
it's really a question is like, as far as we know, they're the only ones. So here's an interesting ethical equation. Let's say gingers had every awful stereotype that we associate with everyone else. All just into gingers or whatever. Maybe not even gingers, not humans. Like, let's say you've got this creature that has all these awful traits, but there's like two good creatures. Do you put up with the rest just because you know there's two good ones in a hole?
Dude, but that's the thing. Because there's two, you don't know. You haven't met
They're
every
not
single
good.
one of them.
They're still not good. They still want to eat people. Imagine just imagine for a second if all demons were like that. They still wouldn't be good people. At that point, they'd just be normal monsters. Because they would still be out there eating people left and right because now there are no factory farm children. Now they're just like, well, okay, cool. Everything's back to normal. Fantastic. I can go back to terrorizing villages and eating people who are out late at night.
But
They stop being a systemic problem and just start being that thing that you want to avoid down in the fucking valley.
Okay. But this is the argument that Emma can make in her mind in the story. Like, there are good examples of demons out there, and this is the argument she can present to Norman.
But
So that
like,
could potentially
I
be
feel
how
like
she wins the argument.
I feel like Norman would still be like, okay, you found one, so we won't kill her, but we could still kill the rest of them. Because, like, as far as we know, like, Songju and, like, Musica are living in a fucking hobbit hole, and they're not a part of any larger community.
Yeah. Which they said they were heretics, which implied some sort of religious thing, which has kind of been dropped. We haven't heard anything about that since they mentioned that.
Yeah, that was, like, forgotten entirely.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe, I don't know, the fact that they're bringing them up again, it might be something they bring up, like, in terms of them being heretics too.
Although, I just got a good idea, Scott. Would this save the William Minerva anime children if Emma has to fight and kill them and outsmart them?
No.
To outsmart the human children that have superpowers.
Yeah, the William Minerva force.
To what
Oh,
end,
geez.
though?
Like, basically she says, Norman, this is bad. Killing people is bad. Genocide's bad. Norman's like, fuck you. This is what we've always wanted. Don't you want to do it for Phil? But then Emma's like, oh, I have a new plan. And then Norman's like, I'm not going to let you do it. And then, the Bagman and Skater Girl and Butler Man have to fight Emma.
Not really, because at the end of the day, I honestly kind of agree with Norman. It's like, look, okay, if cows suddenly gained sentience and just went, oh, what the fuck is this? And just started killing humans left and right. Just, like, imagine, like, some, like, calf just going, but we can't kill all the humans, and just going, Are you fucking high? Have you seen veal, you asshole? What is wrong with you? Like,
Oh, what
from
do
the
you think?
cow perspective, it's just like, what the fuck is no? We just don't keep a few of them alive. They literally fucking eat us. What the fuck is wrong with you?
All right, but what about the potential flaw in Norman's plan? That
I don't see it as much of a flaw.
The destroying the factories doesn't kill off the demons because some vegan demons still exist.
Then there's like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, then they have a significantly smaller population, and I assume you don't just stop with destroying the factories. You then go start killing the feral demons, so that you can start reclaiming your world and building like an actual civilization and shit like that.
Well,
honestly, the biggest flaw in their plan I see isn't demons, it's wait for it, guys in SWAT gear.
But
it's fucking guys with assault rifle and tactical vests coming in to fucking defend the factory farm. That's the problem I see with your fucking plan.
Here's the twist. Guys in SWAT gear are the demons. Yeah, it's people that are the demons, not the demons.
Yeah, like, at this point, all I see is like about halfway through, it just becomes a knockdown, drag out fight, and it's basically just like a normal human war. And one side happens to have demons, and the other side happens to have genetically engineered killing machines. But mostly it's just a normal human war.
But hey, we were right. We called it. The demons like the smart kids, and they need to eat them to get smarter. So we called that back earlier. So
yeah, like that.
That makes sense. It always makes sense from that perspective.
I just like feeling right in the validation. But the interesting wrinkles that like now we know why they look so differently is that like they eat different shit and they take on different forms.
Yeah, but that was a good explanation. For
I wonder
how they changed.
I wonder if there'll be like some explanation that like the demons are like spores, and like if you burn them, they'll just like spread the spores, and then they'll go somewhere else. And
God, so like 40k orcs.
Yeah, exactly, like 40k orcs. Like I feel like that would be the solution to sort of justify why there needs to be balance between them, and you can't just eliminate them. But unless we get
but you can kind of eliminate them because they clearly did it in the other world. They just shunted them off into this one. The question is, so, okay, you managed to shunt them off into this world. Why do you need factory farms? Wouldn't it just be better to just like, okay, all right, all the demons are over here now. Everybody quietly get up and leave. The demons are too stupid the demons will eventually degenerate, and they're too fucking stupid to open the goddamn wall. It's fine. We'll just leave them over here and never speak of this again.
Yeah, because it makes sense why, like, you know, in the old times, you give the demons, like, some humans to be their cattle stock because you don't have guns. But now you have guns. Now you have men in tactical SWAT gear.
That's true. Men in tactical SWAT gear. Those are probably the scariest things in this manga so far. It's true.
I know. Isn't it great?
And also the head of the Rotiri clan, you know, we don't know much about him. He killed Minerva.
He better do something interesting. He better not be like a fucking Lewis, like just a bunch of wasted potential.
He's got hidden owl cameras, like trying to catch the children.
I guess.
Owl cameras.
So let's wrap this up. What would you give a score for this ongoing, mass factory plant infestation / rebirth of Norman arc?
I give it an 8. I was happy with it. I'm happy that Norman's back and the way they introduced him again.
I'm definitely
as a boss character.
I'm definitely intrigued. I'll agree. I'll give it an 8. Zavul, I know you're not as a huge fan.
5.
Damn.
You're brutal. So
Yeah, I know. I'm pissed.
well, here's my overall thesis about what I think is the problem with the series. I think the guy had it supposedly. I remember reading interviews where it said like he had the first major story arc all tightly plotted. It was one of the very few instances where Shonen Jump like picked something up just based on a written outline versus like a pilot chapter, and because they were all so impressed. But then once he came to the realization that like, oh fuck, I have to keep this going forever and ever, he didn't really have much of a plan for it, which is why like it's not terrible, but like basically it feels like the prodigy child who we thought was the second coming of Shonen Christ, and he's just slacking. He's just like playing Fortnite on his phone in class. He's not writing essays. He's not trying as hard, and there are like lots of instances of like lazy writing where it's like you should have awesome detail, awesome detail, awesome detail, and the fact that the series is ending so abruptly, like it feels like you could have like
it's not so much he's like slacking off so much as like he had a thing, he had it planned, and Jump went, this is popular, keep going, and then he just didn't know what to do with it, and so just tanked it.
I don't know if he tanked it. I just feel like he didn't have, we decided that like the point of that would like determine whether this is an all-time great thing or whether it would sink or swim would be what came after the escape arc and the information we learned about the world, and that would define it. And I think the big thing, one of the worst decisions he ever made was like saying like, the human world is over here and then we're in the demon world, as opposed to like the demons control everything. Because from there, once that concept was introduced, that like, it's just been like this all the time since medieval fucking times, from there it's been like a series of de-escalation in terms of danger and threat.
Yeah,
I agree with that it does make it feel like the demons are less threatening because of that, and it makes it feel like there's a safe haven for the children. But the fact that the Ratiri clan is so against the children from the other world to going into the human world, or like destroying whatever system is happening in the demon world, like the Ratiri clan is from the human world, right? So
yeah, they were the family that made the promise.
So I think the human world, and actually in this instance, is supposed to be the more terrifying thing. Like, why is the human world and separate from the demon world to begin with? Like, why'd they make this agreement in the first place?
Well,
because at the time I assume they were actually afraid of the demons, but not no more.
I don't think necessarily they were too afraid of them. I think they were trying to like make a deal that would profit both parties.
No, I think they were legitimately afraid, because in the flashbacks they show them fighting them with like spears and swords, and they said, the killing was so bad that both sides said, we want to stop it.
Yeah, but trying to stop the war between them doesn't necessarily mean that, we stop it because we're afraid. We also want to stop it because, it's not profitable to each side, but what if we came up with a deal that we could actually both benefit from, What do you think about that?
I don't know. I'm still pretty disappointed.
I mean, it is kind of disappointing in terms of like making the demons like how the demons turned out the way they are. They're just not as threatening. But to me, the Ratiri clan is still pretty threatening.
Well,
that's pretty good right now.
We'll
at least the children have a threat.
How it plays. So they keep on saying, this is the final arc. We've only got one last arc. I feel like, what do you think this is going to be over? Like 150 chapters?
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of getting. Like, I didn't bother watching, but I feel like we're reading, but I feel like we're kind of getting into this like last chapters of Berserk Bleach kind of thing, where it's just like, fuck it, just fuck it.
Hey, you didn't read the last chapters of Bleach. You don't know what fuck it is like.
Yeah.
No, I didn't, and I'm really proud of myself.
Bleach's level of fuck it was way worse. I'm going to tell you that. It's way worse than this shit. This is, I mean, the fact that they, made Norman into a William Minerva fake figure, that to me is pretty clever idea, the way to reintroduce Norman, right?
Well, if they have balls to like make Norman the final villain, that Emma has to kill and like kill her like innocence to like finally achieve peace, then I'll give him a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Because it seems like he's being built as the evil genocidal leader, and Emma better not Emma better have some painful compromise. Like the best version of this like series would have been like every 5 chapters something sad and bad happens, then just imagine sad Full Metal Alchemist music over it, and it would have gone on like that for like 150 chapters or so.
Yeah. There's a lot of worse alternatives to what we're experiencing right now for Promised Neverland, and to me, this like the way they brought back Norman was definitely one of the better ones.
Well, yeah, I definitely will say that, like, it's funny. Like, I have a reading order whenever I go to my favorite scanlation site, and that always determines how interested I am in a series. And Promised Neverland got up to the number one in terms of, like, which one I wanted to see the most, right, at least right now.
Yeah.
But, I still have as many issues as Zavul overall. And I'm still annoyed about a lot of things.
The Minerva children, especially, right?
They're kind of dumb.
The fact that his task force is like genetically altered superhumans,
and the fact that the demons aren't threatening anymore, and like because they're so unthreatening, the Rarity clan better have a good reason for why they're doing what they're doing.
By the way, what do you guys think? Do you think they're like? I thought it was kind of interesting when they went to the castle place disguised as demons.
Oh, yeah, I like that. I liked actually seeing what it looked like. But I think we could have had more of that. I would have liked more scenes of like demon villages and shit.
There was like an image that looked like it was like foreshadowing like the demons' reliance on like what they eat. It was kind of interesting to see that.
What image?
It was showing a little like graphic little chart in one of those caged off areas in the towers. It was like showing off like if a demon ate an insect, they would turn more insectoid. If they ate a bird, then they become more bird-like, but like in a visual way. It was kind of a little bit more subtle than with Norman.
I'll have to look at it again and check it out when we're done.
But I think it's foreshadowing even more things in the future.
Well, fingers crossed. I'm still more optimistic than Zavul, but I am still a little annoyed. At some point, though, Zavul should check out the anime, and we can come back and do that at some point in the future. But all right, yeah. I think it's time to wrap it up. Any final thoughts you want to leave with the wonderful people in the comments?
Nah, I think that's it.
Hey, Promised Neverland just getting a little bit better.
I'll still take this over Goblin Slayer and your isekai shit any day of the week.
Okay, yes. I guess. Wow, that. Fuck. That's depressing. But yes, it's same. Jesus fucking Christ! I can't believe that's my bar. But yeah, sure.
Do you ever remember did you ever look into the famous anime My Sister, My Writer that was so bad that the guy said like, I'm screwed in the credits?
No.
You should go look it up after we're done recording. There's this anime that was so bad that a guy literally said, I'm seriously screwed in the credits. It's the stuff of legends. All right. Well, thank you for hanging out with us. Let us know. I always love your comments. Sorry for the delay. It is a bitch to round these gents up, but I always have a good time when I pull it off. At some point, we'll do a catch-up on One Piece, which will basically be me and Zavul bitching about Wano, while Goro tries to talk about its good parts.
Well, yeah. I haven't even caught up yet, so I'll have to catch up too.
God damn it, Greg.
Well, you'll get around for that. We'll save that for another day. For us to like bitch about how Oda draws only one woman and he insists on having those same two women in the same panels.
Oh yeah.
It gets really bad.
Ones.
It gets really bad in one of the chapters. You'll
When
know
was the
when you
last
see
One Piece review we did? I thought we did up to where
we did a big catch
Luffy
up.
punched Kaido, right?
Yeah, we're a little further than that now.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a catch up. All right, gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with us. And remember, lobsters and tennis, but don't you grab it.